On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony continues the raids and Ethan does whatever a spider does. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your question. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's up?
I took way too long saying that.
You did. You disappeared for a second there, too. I was afraid I lost you.
Oh, no.
Afraid I lost you. Well, Thanksgiving is over.
It is.
It is time. It is Saturday. I've had 4 days off so far. Tomorrow's my 5th day off, and I am looking forward to not doing a dadgum thing all day long, except watching Bill and Ted, probably.
Which one?
The third one, because I haven't seen it yet.
Good luck with that. Not going to say anything else.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yep.
I'm expecting it to be not as good as 1, but better than 2. That's what I'm expecting. Is that safe, or should I expect something different?
Just lower your expectations by a lot more.
Really?
Yeah.
See, some of the stuff I've seen from people have said it was really good. Like, it was not like amazing cinema, but if you're going into Bill and Ted expecting amazing cinema, you're going to the wrong movie. And, you know.
Yeah, I didn't go into it with high expectations. I went into it like, all right, a new Bill and Ted film.
Yeah, so it's $6 to rent.
Yeah.
So I figured, what the heck?
Movie night. Sounds great. Have fun with that.
I'll watch that and Christmas Chronicles 2. So
Christmas Chronicles.
Yeah. That's Netflix. 2 years ago, I think 2018, they released Christmas Chronicles, the first Christmas Chronicles. It stars Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. It is really good. I highly recommend it.
I've seen that for some reason.
He ends up in jail. They have a whole like jailhouse rock thing going on where
I may have seen it. That's weird.
He gives everybody instruments and they all play, and he does a little rock concert in jail.
And then he breaks out.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So the second one just came out this past week. So I'm going to watch that because I loved the first one. So that's what I'm going to do on Sunday.
So he goes to jail again.
Probably. Now this one takes place at the North Pole, I think. So they're following Tim Allen's Santa Claus with taking everything to the North Pole after saving Christmas the first time.
You know, there has to be like diminishing returns when it comes to Tim Allen movies with Disney.
Well, there hasn't been
and I would call it the Santa Claus 2, 3, and I think 4.
There's only been 3.
3, thank God. So yeah, I would call it Santa Claus 2 and 3, and then whatever else he's been in since then.
You see, I like the Santa Claus movies. They're some of my wife's favorites.
I don't know. They're reaching really hard with plot points in that second movie, and especially that third one. Oh my gosh, dude.
Well, yeah.
The fake beard of all things.
So, yeah. The first one is definitely the best one with those movies. Who
was the villain in the third one? Who was that?
Jack Frost. It was Martin Short.
Thank you, Martin Short. It's like I see him, and I don't see him as. It's like I see him as a guy trying to get a paycheck, who used to be in Three Amigos. I don't see him as Jack Frost.
Man, the Three Amigos, that was a good movie.
It really was.
I'd almost be like, we should do another Three Amigos movie, but I don't know that I want them to go back to that, especially now as really old men.
Yeah, I don't think Chevy Chase could do that much action anymore.
Probably not.
I mean, I watched all 6 seasons of Community, and well, he's only in like seasons 1 and 2 and like part of season 3, I think. And apparently he's gotten like really hard to work with. Like if a scene's not funny, he would just up and leave the set. So
really,
Yeah.
Wow. It was Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and who was the third one?
Martin
Why
Short.
can I why can I not remember the third
Steve
person?
Martin.
Steve Martin, that's it.
That's all
So
from memory. That is not Googled at all.
yeah, so there you go. The new Saved by the Bell started this week too. I watched about half an
Oh,
episode of that.
how bad was it?
It was really bad.
All right, I'm going to check that out.
Like there are parts of it that you're like, that looks like Bayside, but it looks like Bayside during a daytime soap opera, and I am not down for that.
Anyone listening is like, man, these guys are old.
We are
They're
old.
like Googling, what is Saved by the
What
Bell?
the heck is Saved by the Bell? Yeah.
What is Three Amigos?
uh,
There's that
but
one person's like, what is Community? What is this old TV show? It's like, that was 5 years ago that ended.
the thing with Saved by the Bell, with the remake of that, was Lisa and Screech are not coming back.
Oh, well,
I think
I can understand Screech not coming back. He is really in it just for a paycheck at this point.
they did mention why he's not there, though, and apparently Screech and Kevin, if you remember Kevin, are living on the International Space Station.
Who's
So
Kevin?
his robot that he made.
The robot, yes.
So
Plus,
they are.
they probably actually didn't want him back because the actor is kind of a scumbag anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like he
It,
couldn't even legally use the name Screech for like when he was trying to get his house or something mansion back with fan money. So he had to
yeah, like
throw an extra e in there, so it's Screech.
I know Dustin Diamond was a really like
Dustin Diamond, gosh.
awful person, but when you think about Saved by the Bell, he was the only one that was there for like everything. If there was Saved by the Bell on TV, Screech was on there. He was
Oh
there for the
man.
original run. He was there for the original run before it was Saved by the Bell, and it was Good Morning Miss Bliss.
Yeah, Good Morning Miss Bliss. Oh man, he was there for the new
He was there
class
for the
too.
college years. He was there for the new class.
Oh
He
my
he was
gosh,
in just about every single episode of Saved by the Bell. So
and he always played second banana. Oh no, no wonder he turned out the way he did. Poor guy. He oh
so it's been a week of like throwback movies and TV shows. But we could sit here and talk about that all night. Because there was also some stuff that happened in Star Wars this week that
oh
was
gosh.
important. We're not going to talk about that
Well,
though.
yeah, we should probably move on.
We should talk about some video
Oh
games.
man,
So, what have you been playing this week?
I once again donned a spider suit and saved New York.
All over again.
And I'm doing it all over again.
Really?
But not as Peter
So,
Parker.
so is this like multiple times through the game, or just
Oh,
that you
okay.
because you're playing
Hold on.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man Miles Morales, PS5.
Yeah.
Got to get that out there so people know that I'm not playing Marvel's Spider-Man
From
PS4.
2018? Is that when that
Yes,
one was out?
2018. So this is the one where you play as the new Spider-Man, Peter Parker's protege, I guess you call it, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Underling or something. Not underling. Trainee.
Protege would be, yeah.
Okay, protege it is. So, uh, so Peter's got like the spider strength, and he's just super smart and good with technology and stuff. Then you got Miles, who's like pretty smart. He goes to like a prestige school, but instead of having, I mean, he's got the spot. He's basically got the everything that Peter has, but then he's also got the electric abilities, the venom blast stuff, and he can turn invisible.
So,
So
like, yeah, I'm not up with the Miles Morales part of the Spider-Man storyline. I only really am familiar with the Peter Parker thing. So I don't know if Miles Morales was supposed to be like a reboot of Spider-Man, or the same thing has happened to Miles Morales,
he
or there's a little bit of
he came
technology involved.
in the Ultimate Universe when Ultimate Spider-Man was killed off over there.
Hmm.
So like if you saw Into the Spider Verse, where
Yes.
okay, think of it very similar to that, where you see you see Spider-Man get killed, and then and Miles is there, and it's like, okay, well now he's got spider powers too already, so he's gonna take up the mantle. That's basically what it is.
So
But
is
but in this, but then they did a whole retcon where that Parker comes back, and then somehow Miles ends up punching Doctor Doom so hard he destroys the Ultimate Universe, and everyone gets combined into themselves. That universe combines into the regular universe, like Amazing Spider-Man
dude,
universe.
comic books are so confusing.
Oh man, it was like his ultimate attack. He like broke reality by punching Demon Metal Horse Doctor Doom.
Like it's so hard to keep track of whether or not this is an alternate universe, an alternate reality. It's part of the same reality. I have
Yeah,
no
it
idea.
got crazy, but uh, man, it is just so much retconning. Just like whichever universe you're looking at, like the comic universe, all that got rewritten. Then you have the cinematic universe with the Into the Spider Verse, where you look into multiple universes, the
Hmm.
multiverse theory, and all that. And then you have the video game, which can cross over into the Spider Verse,
Yeah.
and that crosses into everything if you want it to. Anyway, so this anyway, all you need to know is Miles is not. He is the younger Spider-Man trying to get a hold of or come to grips with what he needs to do to be the new Peter Parker. Does that sound about right to you?
Sure, sure.
Great.
We'll go with that.
I forget how long it's been since the first game in Game Time since that event took place. Because right at the end of that one, Miles is like, "Hey, I got spider powers too," and jumps on his ceiling and sticks. Then Parker's like, "Hey, me too," and jumps and shows off.
Hmm.
So, but it's been long enough that Miles has his own suit. And Parker's like, "Hey, I'm going on vacation overseas for 2 weeks. The city's yours to take care of."
Yeah, he went to the Bug Snacks world.
Yes. So while he's gone, Miles ends up coming across a conspiracy theory or something in his home neighborhood. He lives over in the Harlem district area, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
With someone called, or with a group, a gang called the Underground, and they've been fighting, stealing energy stuff from Roxxon Energy, which is a new energy company that is trying to change the world. The energy they're providing has an issue where Underground's trying to steal it to use for their own stuff or something. I'm trying not to give away a plot here, so anyway, they're trying to steal it, and apparently Miles is reactive to it, and like it makes it explode, and so anyway, whole plot point stuff there. I beat the game. It was pretty awesome. And then I saw the trophies. I had like 7 trophies left. I'm like, I guess I can replay to get the rest of this stuff since it's all new game plus. Plus, uh, some of the stuff you have to get, like the certain spider suit and some abilities, are only in new game plus.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yes.
there's no
That trend.
difficulty requirement. So I've already beat it on normal. So in order to get the most time for my money on here, I dropped the
You're playing
difficulty.
on easy, aren't
I
you?
dropped it all the way down. I'm like, I'm blowing through these guys. I get into combat. They just kind of stand there for a good 10 seconds while I decide who I'm going to punch first.
Yeah. I can't can't say anything. I have dropped the difficulty on my first playthrough to some games to easy.
The difficulty does ramp up as you progress through there. Even normal enemies, they start taking like more of a beating, it seems sometimes, or they just throw so many at you, it's just taking longer to take them all out.
Yeah.
I do see some quality of life improvements. I don't know if these carried over to the remaster of just Spider-Man, but the ability to just like launch yourself into a wall and stick or the ceiling, and then you can actually do your stealth takedowns while clinging to a wall or a ceiling now. That's
Nice.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that in the original PS4 version, and if you could, I couldn't get it to work. So that's my bad there. Then it might be in the remake. I don't know. I haven't played it. I did carry over my save data through the transfer process that was introduced recently, and that unlocked all the trophies I unlocked in the game already. So that gave me another platinum trophy right there. That was pretty cool. And they added a whole bunch of new ones. But definitely worth playing through the game to get Spider-Man in your backpack. The cat. His name is Spider-Man.
He's not a man.
His name is Spider-Man. He is a cat.
Well, you can't call him Spider Cat.
I would rather call him Spider Cat, but it's kind of adorable. You can do a mission, you rescue this cat, and he just sits in your backpack, give him back, and then at the end of the game, the guy's like, "Hey, take him out or something." And so the cat is in your backpack wearing a Spider-Man mask. And you're swinging
Nice.
around, and you see his paws up, like it's like he's on a roller coaster or something. It's really adorable watching him,
I bet it is.
and all the suits in there. For Miles, his suits, I'm gonna say there's like maybe two suits I wasn't too big a fan of, but
Mhm.
like all the rest of them on there are really awesome looking, especially the oh, what was it called? It was a real easy one to unlock. The Miles Morales, or the Spider Suit Miles Morales 2020 or something. It's basically your oh geez, your Daft Punk helmet.
Okay.
It's a Daft Punk helmet and jacket. And you get that so early on. It's pretty good. After that, I'm running around in I think it was like a red cow.
Cowl.
Yeah, that word. I ended up running around in one of those later on because that was I thought that looked more stealthy and cool in my opinion.
Hmm.
And then after some playing, I unlocked basically a full armor looking metal suit or something, and I was like, all right, this looks pretty good, and that's basically my go-to outfit now.
Nice.
But having the
So
cat outfit was pretty awesome.
is there there has to be one like the Spider-Man Far From Home stuff that basically looks like an Iron Man version of.
there is there is a homemade suit sort of thing, kind of like that. Actually, his default suit from the very start of the game is very reminiscent of what you would see that he was wearing whenever he actually came to terms with his powers in Into the Spider Verse,
Hmm.
where he's walking around in public, he's got the jacket on, but you can see the tights and everything on him,
Yeah.
and then he like throws up the hood and pulls down the mask. That's actually your starting outfit in this one,
Okay.
so that's pretty cool. But that outfit kind of gets replaced with I'm gonna call it the trainee spider suit. It looks like Spider-Man's basic outfit, but it's
Okay.
more blue,
Yeah.
and it's got you can see elbow and knee pads attached to it. Yeah, at some point, him and Genki are like, "All right, you know what? Enough of this. It's time to upgrade." And that's when you get the black suit with the red on it. It looks pretty awesome,
Mhm.
which is his normal outfit.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of like the black Spider-Man suits. I've always thought they looked really cool.
Yeah, it's hard to go against that, or hard to make something better than the original Venom suit. But I mean, using that as a base, you can actually make similar things that look just as good.
To be fair, a default Spider-Man suit always looks really cool too. But there's just something that just makes the black ones look so much cooler.
Yeah, especially for if you like playing this in the or seeing it in the stealth style. There, that works even better. It's like I'm a ninja, I'm being stealthy,
Hmm.
just clean the walls and stuff. And also that invisibility power that he has, that makes things like the stealth segments on there are way too easy with that.
Okay.
It's really enjoyable though, because you go down, you like do a instant takedown, and he just kind of has fun with it, where he'll tap someone on the shoulder, and he's already hit them with the venom, and they turn around before it kicks in, and they start to like throw a punch, and he's just standing there like waving at them, and they just lock up and fall over.
Nice.
But yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales, really good game. I'm gonna say it's not as long as the previous Spider-Man game, but it's not so short that it's like a DLC. Because
Yeah.
it's longer than DLC, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's work. I wouldn't. It's
I'm
good.
trying.
It's
I'm
good.
trying to think of the equivalent thing from another game. It's not like the Majora's Mask to the Ocarina of Time,
No, no,
where
no.
they're or it's like the Galaxy 2 to Galaxy, where they used a lot of the same stuff to basically make another game. Is that a fair comparison?
I've never played Galaxy 2, even though, well, I know I played a little bit of Galaxy 2 because I didn't stop because I didn't have Galaxy 1. Now I do. I haven't played enough of either one of those to give a proper opinion.
Okay. Well, I won't try to take that analogy anywhere else. So,
You know what? Here's a good analogy. If you played the first Spider-Man game and then you played like one of the three DLCs or something, or if you played all three DLCs, I would say it's closer to having all three DLCs back to back, all combined into one thing.
okay.
That way, it's not a full blown game, but it's not a full. It's almost a full blown game in its own right, and then they kind of fluffed it out with some extra content.
I just thought of one that might work in my mindset,
Go
and
for
that
it.
is Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, which was a DLC pack for Assassin's Creed 4, but was eventually released as its own standalone game. It was a separate campaign, separate
Oh yeah,
character, set in the same basic places that you played Assassin's Creed
it was
4.
a separate universe altogether.
Well, it was all part of the same universe. It was just a
Wasn't that the
separate
one
story.
where like George Washington was evil?
No, that was the DLC for Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, Far Cry and Blood Dragon.
there you go.
Got it.
There you go. Ubisoft has been really good about doing the making the expansion DLC thing, where they take the assets and everything from the main game, build a completely new game around it that can be DLC to the original game, but is also sold separately as a standalone
Metal Gear
thing.
Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Metal Gear Survive. There we go.
So there you go.
But this one's
All right.
not a cross section. This one's like, you still have all New York. It's changed. It's snowy now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been playing, Tony?
I have been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla still.
Nice.
Last week I had been talking about how I thought it was a really, really good game. It just didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a good game. It just wasn't the game that I was wanting it to be.
It's like Assassin's Creed RPG.
Yes. Well, this week I found out something that completely changed the game for me.
You found out how to play the game the right way.
Well, it's one small tweak that I missed apparently when I was originally going through the options for the game, because you get a bunch of different things that it's like, hey, do you want this? Do you want this? How do you want this set up and all that? And it was one-shot assassinations in the game. Up to this point, I have not been able. If I'm doing stealth sections, I can't do the one-shot kills that have been such a hallmark of the series up to
Right.
now. Where if you completely catch somebody by surprise, it is just one button, they're dead, and you're moving on. There was no guaranteed assassinations in Valhalla, but I found out by watching a video of someone who was talking about their thoughts on the game, like after 50 hours. They're like, I found this one thing that completely changed the game for me. And he showed in the options, there is the ability to go into the options menu and turn on guaranteed assassinations.
It's just an option that says turn on Assassin's Creed mode.
Basically is what it is. um, so I've gotten to a point in the game where I'm going around into some of the bigger villages that feel a little bit more built up. They're not completely cities like in Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed 3, where you're running through Boston and New York and
Right.
those. They're more built up. There's more chances for you to sneak around corners, climb up onto the roofs of some huts and things like that. And it's starting to feel a little bit more like Assassin's Creed. And that change with the guaranteed assassinations just makes the game feel completely different, because it gives you a reason to try those stealth sections where previously it's like, what's the point? You go in beforehand and it was, I stab them and it takes like 3/4 of their health, but then they're screaming and everybody around them is coming and helping them out. And so there's no reason to try
You
to
don't
be
you don't
sneaky.
get that instant kill and then like just walk off while while they're bleeding to death, and everyone's none the wiser.
Exactly. And so there was no reason to be anything other than a Viking and just go in screaming, axes flailing around all over the place, and just kill everybody that you see. Um, because
Turn off
that
Viking mode? Yes or no?
I turned off Viking mode and turned on assassin mode, and it completely changed the way the game feels to me.
That's good
So
to know.
I am now probably about 15 hours into the game, and it's a completely different experience to me than it was last week. It feels much more like an Assassin's Creed game. There's reasons to try to be stealthy now. Uh, there are places that you can actually be stealthy in where I wasn't getting that previously. So
I I have to wonder, why would they make a game call it Assassin's Creed where it's like, okay, here's this guy, we're gonna give him the assassin's blade, and then he's like, this is dumb, I'm not gonna use this that way, and then it doesn't work anyway, and then you have to go to a menu to find it.
yeah,
That's extremely dumb.
it is, and I was
It's like, I'm gonna make a
or
Batman game and make everyone play as Robin.
there you go. Origins and Odyssey were getting away from that. Like Odyssey, especially, was just I'm playing 300 the movie.
You know what? Hold on, I need to fix my analogy. I'm gonna make a Batman game, make everyone play as Robin from Teen Titans Go. Yeah, take that. Okay, go ahead.
So it's been really, really good. And I have been able to play it on my TV this week because I figured out while I can't use the Wi-Fi portion of like the Luna controller,
Hmm.
it does connect through Bluetooth and it's been working better. Um,
Okay.
uh, so I've been able to play the game on my TV and just sit back and kind of relax a little bit rather than sitting hunched over a laptop screen. Um, so yeah, my experience with Assassin's Creed Valhalla this week compared to last week is just completely different, and it's elevated the game in my mind a little more than it was. It was previously it was better than the last couple of games, um, but it's starting to creep its way up, maybe a little higher in my rankings. I still don't think it's better than Brotherhood. I don't think it's better than like Assassin's Creed 3 or Assassin's Creed 4, both which I really enjoyed. Um, a lot of people didn't like those, uh, but I really did. And so now that it's starting to feel more like Assassin's Creed, I'm starting to really enjoy the game as an Assassin's Creed game, and it's making me much happier with the experience than I was already um, at previously.
Well, it's good to know that the thing you enjoy was just option away.
Yeah, instead of it would have been nice to just been like, you know what, download the Assassin's Creed version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Don't download the God of War version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
It would have been great if like one of the real world parts on there, it's like, all right, I'm gonna download this or I'm gonna upload this data and change this game and make it more assassin like.
Yeah, it was just a
Just
it was a mod to the Animus that you had to install.
yeah, there we go.
So, yeah. Um definitely enjoying it. I've got to get through this game as quick as I can because this week is the release of Immortals, and I want to be able to get to that game and give it some time as well because that
The
is
grind is real now, Tony.
it is. I should be able to just spend the rest of this year enjoying Assassin's Creed because nothing else was supposed to come out. But Ubisoft was like, you know what? Nah, we're going to put all of our games out right here within 3 weeks of each other, and you're just going to have to get over it.
Yeah,
So
they really did release like some hits back to back there.
they did. They've been all been really good too. So it's not like Watch Dogs was bad and I could just ignore it. I want to get back to Watch Dogs and play that some more as well. So I've got a lot of stuff just from Ubisoft, and then I've got to try to find time to play Hyrule Warriors because I haven't even gotten to that
Yeah,
yet.
me either. I need to get a copy. But you said Watch Dogs, and I remembered the PS5 version of that exists, but I already have it on PC, so.
So So there you go. That
The
is what I am
PS5 version was
enjoying.
like 50% off. That's
I
like half the price, dude.
I almost bought a Stadia game this week.
No,
I did.
you take that back.
I did. I told you like the day after the
I know
start.
you told me, and I forgot since then because it was so crazy. You were talking about Stadia.
Yeah, Stadia. Just I had seen a tweet from Stadia that they were announcing their Black Friday sale was live, and I went and I was like, "Ooh, Doom 2016 is $5 or $6 on Stadia. I could get this, and it would only be $6, and I wouldn't care if I lost the game when Stadia shut down, if that ever happened."
A month later, when Stadia is shut down forever, yeah.
Oh crap! So then I also saw that they had the same deal going on the Xbox. So I'm like, if I'm going to buy Doom, I'm just going to buy it on the Xbox because I can stream it
Yeah,
just as well there.
good. You did good.
So I have not, still have not purchased a Stadia game yet,
And probably never will.
uh, unless there's something really good that comes from Stadia. Like I own I think 3 Stadia games now, and all of them have been free through either
What if
discounts
what
or they were just giving them away.
what if Google found a way to make Google Cardboard work with Stadia? Then you could play Phasmophobia in VR.
That would be amazing. Like I would try
Google,
that.
if Phasmophobia came to Stadia, you would be able to do that then. It'd be
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Yeah.
They just release better controllers and a way for you to keep the cardboard strapped to your head.
Well, I modded the Labo VR headset so that it would stay on my head, so it would be easy to do.
You know what? I bet they would sell an attachment.
I just all I did was attach some Velcro
Yeah.
to the
Just saying.
Labo thing, and it worked perfectly. So it would be pretty easy to mod Google Cardboard to stay on my head.
By the way, we played Phasmophobia for the pre-show stuff this week for BG Plays. I didn't record it. Instead, I streamed it because I hit the wrong button. But I will get the edited version put up on YouTube later.
Yeah,
You'll probably have already seen it posted by the time the show is live.
I have more trouble than I wanted trying to just get the game to run on my computer. So
To be fair, you were in a we got your original problem solved, and I bet that the original version of the game would still run properly.
yeah,
Right now, we're running beta version, which is the buggiest. I don't know if you noticed. Every time we were coming back from missions, one of us couldn't talk,
yeah,
or one of us wasn't there. In your case, so some issues are happening, and like even I came back and wasn't able to talk at one point. With me and Stuart, again, I came back and wasn't able to talk. He was, and whenever I left to fix it, it crashed Stuart's game.
wow,
So this new version with the prison level, which that was kind of neat to see, is
yeah.
very buggy.
So well, all right. Let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some news. So, if there is one franchise that both you and I like, it would be something probably in the Mario franchise.
Sure. I mean, that Mario movie was great.
But Monster Hunter also is a franchise that you and I both like.
Yeah, they made
And
some good toys.
we're both equally worried about the upcoming Monster Hunter movie.
I'd say I'm more worried about it than you are.
You're probably a little more worried about it than me. Some of the at
Actually,
least
I'm not worried about it. I'm more annoyed by its existence in the manner that it exists.
there has been some of the actual Monster Hunter parts of the movie that look really good. Like anytime Tony Jaw's
Yeah.
on the screen, it looks really good.
Yeah, he is the saving grace of this entire movie. The
Anytime Mila
downside is
Jovovich is on the screen,
the downside is what you just said.
not so much.
They cancel each other out.
Yeah. So Capcom though is definitely going to try to get on the hype train with the Monster Hunter movie, and they are doing some cross promotion with Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter's crossing over with Monster Hunter.
So there will be a Monster Hunter crossover in Monster Hunter.
There you go.
So what exactly is this?
We are getting a crossover event in Monster Hunter World, Iceborne. I don't know if it's part of the original game, base game, whatever you want to call it, but definitely Iceborne, where players will be able to encounter Mila Jovovich. Jovovich, however you say her name. The character from such movies as Resident Evil, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
So they're bringing the real world into Monster Hunter.
Well, they're bringing the Monster Hunter movie characters into
But
Monster
yeah,
Hunter.
well,
I don't know her character's name, and I don't really care to learn the name.
she's some U.S. Army person.
Yeah, it's like film star. I think it's in the notes. Captain Artemis. There we go. Happy now.
There you go.
So we'll get to see her character and her voice in the game for it's 2 solo missions, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or a 2-part solo adventure. It would be similar to the oh, what was that called? The Witcher thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think you get to play as her, but you get to unlock a skin so you look like her, I guess, from what I'm seeing here. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh boy.
But the internet has been very honest about how they feel about this and making very, very good jokes about it.
That's not surprising.
It's like that. There's like that image out there of Barack Obama, and he's putting a medal around someone, and the person he's putting the medal around is Barack Obama.
Yes.
So the people have been using that meme of all things for the crossover event, but
Yeah.
other people have been like, "Why can't we get Tony Jaa?"
Yeah, that's a good question. He would make way more sense because he's actually the Monster Hunter character in
Yeah.
the movie.
That's the character people really want, or someone that's not Mila.
Yeah, like the Tony Jaa parts of the movie, the feline characters that you see in the movie, like the feline cook that they showed in the last trailer, him fighting the monsters, that all feels very Monster Hunter. And then
And then you have the real world people in that movie, where one guy closes the wrong eye to look through a scope.
yeah, and seeing those monsters with real world heavy machine guns and jeeps and all of that, just it doesn't feel right.
What bothers me is they're like, oh, our guns can't pierce this armor, but we'll use the sword that we hit them with human power only, and it'll pierce right through them.
Yeah.
It's like Solid Snake called and said, "Hey, I beat these things with guns before."
If I can do it,
That's
you
a
could be
Peace Walker reference for anyone who's never played that game. Ah.
Yeah.
Also, I lost the thought. Never mind.
Okay. There you go. Like I'm gonna watch the movie for sure, just because
I'm sure
it's
I will
Monster
too.
Hunter and I have to watch the movie.
I'm gonna do it in
I,
such a way I don't have to pay money for it.
I am at best cautiously optimistic that it'll be a halfway decent movie.
Yeah, maybe.
So we shall see. I'll probably play around with some of this DLC.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
what it was. It's like her character, Mila's character. She uses the same weapons that Mila uses in the game, which is she actually played the game. That I think that's why her husband went to Capcom and was like, "Hey, I'm going to make this movie," and
Yeah.
he bought the cinematic rights or something. I think is what he did. I don't know, but apparently no one else can make this Capcom movie but him because of that. So yay with that information. Prove me wrong, please, so that way I can feel a lot better about someone else being able to be in charge of a future good movie about this.
He's the only person Capcom trusts with their IP to make movies.
I'd rather have like a foreign Japanese person make the film than him. But like her character in the game uses like some fire-based swords, so of course in the movie she's got to use fire-based swords because it's her trademark now. And she's fighting a Rathalos. Guess what? That thing's not weak to fire at all. In fact, the thing takes less damage from fire.
Yeah.
So there's that. Just yeah.
Well, speaking of things
Not that I'm
that
bitter or anything.
speaking of things that are weak to other things, Pokemon. Those things have strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
Apparently, this is something I didn't actually know, is that they have not ever released a Kadabra card in like the last 20 years.
Wow.
Because there was a lawsuit that was brought against Nintendo and the Pokemon Company for the design of Kadabra by a magician who's named Uri Geller. One of his
Okay.
big things is like bending spoons, and that's something that Kadabra does. You
Well,
see him with spoons all the time. And he sued the companies and demanded that all of the cards were taken out of Pokemon trading card sets. But apparently, after 20 years, he's decided, you know what? Maybe I was in the wrong.
this
And
is
he went to,
where Nintendo should countersue for them being unable to sell this card for 20 years because he felt petty about it.
maybe, but he went to Twitter this week and he was like, I am sorry. I am truly sorry for what I did 20 years ago. Kids and grown-ups, I'm releasing the ban. It's now all up to Nintendo to bring my Kadabra Pokemon card back. It will probably be one of the rarest cards now. Much energy and love to all.
It's not his Kadabra card. It's Nintendo's Kadabra.
Well, he sued and
They don't.
said that the image of Kadabra was too close to him and was able to get Nintendo to stop and Pokemon Company to stop making the cards because
It's
the
still not his
ruling
Kadabra. It's Nintendo's
went in
Kadabra.
his favor. Uh, so, according to some judges 20 years ago,
Those judges 20 years ago were like, what the heck's a Pokemon? You know what? Just give this guy his money.
that may be true. That may be true. But now, after 20 years, we may finally see a brand new Kadabra card.
Well, what we need is that judge who was on the thing for regular show and Billy Mitchell for giant beard face.
See, I don't know about that lawsuit either.
That one was hilariously thrown out because Billy Mitchell was like, they're obviously making fun of me, blah, blah, blah. They're saying this is me. And the
Yeah.
judge goes, let it be known on the record that Billy Mitchell is neither a giant face with a giant beard, nor is he exploding. Something along those lines, and had it thrown out. I was like, oh man, that's great.
Or
And then Cartoon Network shows the episode.
like the time that Lindsay Lohan said the GTA girl looked too much like her, and it actually didn't look anything like Lindsay Lohan.
She's like, well, she's doing the peace sign, and like, I own that, and I own a phone.
I
Yeah.
make that same sign with my fingers.
It's like, they had a model for that character.
Mm-hmm. And it was not Lindsay Lohan.
Not at all. In fact, that character is in the game and everything.
So,
She isn't one of the main side characters, but she is in the game and quite talkative.
like, I'm curious, has like Kadabra never been in the Pokemon cartoon in the last 20 years?
No, he has to have been.
Have they never used that character in anything? Or has it just been an issue with the
You know
cards?
what?
I'm
You
curious.
know what?
I
I'm
haven't
gonna look
seen
through my collection of cards, and if I have a Kadabra card, I'll be very surprised.
put that thing on eBay because it'll be worth a ton of money. Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to Capcom for a minute.
We can't go a minute without talking about Capcom.
We got to talk about Capcom.
What they
Paul
do
W.
now?
Anderson is releasing a brand new Capcom
Mega. He's releasing a Mega Man movie. No. It's starring Mila Jovovich as
Mega Man.
As Mega Man.
So no, Capcom is releasing their own mini arcade machine.
You know, he could get away with that and say, well, gender equality stuff. No, dude. No.
Let's not.
Just don't. Please don't. Well, okay, we'll make her 0. No.
Definitely not. No, Capcom is releasing a mini arcade machine.
Nice.
Which is basically, it's a joystick with a screen, is what it is.
It is a 6-button and joystick controller attached to a tube monitor mini TV, as I'm going to call it.
Pretty sure it's going to be an LCD screen though.
Probably is. It looks like a little tube monitor though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It a lot of people were saying it looks sort of like Mega Man, but it only looks like Mega Man in the fact that it's blue. and it's kind of metallic looking.
And it's got some yellow thrown on there. I don't know where that
So
comes in. I'm
it's
just saying.
it's a really neat looking
It looks
little
very Capcom, if
console.
anything.
It's going to be sold for $200, and it comes with about 10 games, I think.
It comes
Um,
with Mega Man, the Power Battle. That is, I think, an arcade fighter. Actually, I think I have this arcade machine sitting in the building downtown. And I need to see if that works. It comes with Mega Man 2, the Power Fighters. Not sure. That might be another one-on-one fighter game. Mega Man X. I hear that's a good game.
that's a pretty good game.
Mega Man Soccer. Doesn't say if it's the completed 100% soccer game or not. Mega Man and Base, the Japanese console version, meaning Super Nintendo,
Yes, that
not
is a
not the
good.
GBA version.
That's such a good game.
And it said Japanese, so I'm guessing it's not translated.
Probably not, but you don't really
I
need
mean,
it.
it is translated on GBA. I don't know if they'll just give us the translations or use it. Either way, anyway. So that's all the Mega Man games we're getting on there. Then we get Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2, and Street Fighter 2, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2.
Yeah. So they're releasing basically every version of Street Fighter 2.
It's Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yeah. And it will be $200 here in the United States. Do we have a date for
Right now it's $200 based on the Japanese price.
Okay, so it hasn't even officially been confirmed.
Yeah, we don't know if we're getting it here.
So, so yeah, I would hope we do, and maybe there'd be some change. Like maybe they put in the GBA version of Mega Man and Base. I don't know.
No. We don't want the GBA. We want the Super Nintendo with the translation.
Okay, yeah. See,
GBA version is actually pretty bad. But it was the only time we got that game over here, which was great. But
that's
bad.
true. We didn't.
It was bad. It was good and bad at the same time.
So,
and hopefully it's the good version of Mega Man Soccer.
Is there a good version of Mega Man Soccer?
No, we lose no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But one has an actual ending, the other doesn't.
So
it'd be really weird for them just to re-release Mega Man Soccer. Anyway, carry on.
Lastly, we've got just one little quick thing. The Bit Trip series, which started on the Wii way back in the day, is getting another release, and this time it'll be on the Switch. It'll come out on Christmas Day. There are 6 games in that series, and they will be sold for $5 each, or in a bundle for $30. I'm trying to remember the names of all 6. I played all 6 of them on the Wii. And I've bought the Bit Trip collection a couple of different times at this point. So let's see. It's Bit Trip Beat, which was the first one. Bit Trip Core, Bit Trip Void, Bit Trip Runner, which is sort of the most famous. It's gotten numerous sequels on its own. Bit Trip Fate and Bit Trip Flux. Those are the 6 games. I have played all of them. They're sort of hit and miss. Some of them are really good. Some of them are not quite as good. Like I don't really like Bit Trip Void, which is one where you play as this like black circle and you have to use the analog stick to move around and avoid other squares that are coming in. And it's strange. Beat is really good. Core was pretty good. And Runner is fantastic. Like it's hands down the best game in the Bit Trip series. I don't
think I've played a Bit Trip game before.
Really, you've never played a Runner?
What was that? The one. What was that one game where I got to play as Max in racing against all you guys at Extra Life that one year?
Oh gosh, what was it? It's not Speedrunners, was it?
I don't know. That wasn't a Bit Trip game, was it?
No.
Okay, then yeah, I've never played one.
Oh gosh, I know that game, but why can I not think of the name of it?
It was one of those where like you'd have like one of us had the Wii controller and another person could play as well, but they had to be connected to the Wii controller through like the port thing. That was really weird to me.
It was an 8-player multiplayer game, but one person, it but it was weird that you had to have 4 Wii remotes and then 4 like classic controllers or something like that, or you could use nunchucks as well. I cannot remember the name of that game right off the top of my head, but it was so fun. Like, that game is hectic and crazy, and it's a speed run challenge where you get from, you're trying to get from the start of a level to the end of the level, and the person who gets to the end of the level first wins and gets points, and then person with the most points at the end of the set number of rounds would win. But I cannot remember what it is right off the top of my head. That's going to drive me nuts now.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. Just have to remember that I won.
So, yeah.
It's not a contest, but I was winning.
But I won. So yeah, those will be out on Christmas Day. So if you haven't played those, check them out. If you have played them, it's the best time to get them on a handheld system. So, except I think they're on the DS already. But so there you go. That will be it for the show this week. So thank you very much, Ethan, for being here.
All right. See everyone next week.
Bye, everybody. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.